Let's shift a little bit to the healthcare question and how that would impact our neighborhood or what's going on. As you know, earlier in the summer we did have the 49th Ward Democratic Party sponsored an event with over 200 people showed up to hear different options on healthcare. It was there were no challenges from renegade folk types that were happening at other meetings. Everyone was certainly for it. They didn't come here. But you and others in the community were involved in developing a health clinic up here. You want to share that a little bit with us, and what's the status of that now that it's been set up for a couple of years?
Well, it's at Toohey and Bell. It's a Heartland Health International Community Health Center, and I think we had 7,200 encounters last year. So it provides primary care in the neighborhood, which is exactly what it was designed to do. We're always looking at new ways. We serve as a community advisory board over there. We're always looking at new ways to expand the services or make new partnerships with hospitals. Lately, we've been talking to St. Francis Hospital, about some possibilities there. So those conversations are always ongoing. The key is to have the resources in the communities, though, where folks can develop a medical home, a relationship with a physician. One of the interesting things we're seeing at this center is that people who are not necessarily on Medicaid or uninsured, who are regular folks who have regular insurance plans, are seeking access to this facility because it's viewed as such a high-end healthcare provider in the neighborhood. So, we're working on that, and the next big thing is oral health, and there's a facility up in Skokie. It's an unused dental facility that's been there for years. It was shut down under Todd Stroger. And we'd like to see it reopen. So we put together a plan for it, a budget for it, some other revenue sources, one from the state to help do it. And we'd like to see that facility open back up so people here can have access, not just to the emergency care where, you go down to county and they pull your tooth, but to restorative care when that's needed. If you have a car accident, for example, and, you've got your front teeth knocked out, just because you don't have insurance doesn't mean that you should have to go without that service. That is something that should be provided. Certainly not, in all cases where people have the ability to pay, but definitely it should be something if you don't have the ability to access that we as a county have decided that we're going to take care of folks that are sick, whereas our federal government seems to still be struggling with that a little bit. We believe that's a human right here, and to take dental care and say that's somehow different, that's just absolutely not the case. It's exactly the same thing.
You're listening to Live from the Heartland on 88.7 Loyola University's Chicago Sound Alliance. I'm Michael James. I'm your host, and I'm talking with Jim Gindersky, the publisher of the Urban Coaster. I got one more question before I ask you to then tour around the neighborhood a little bit more, and that would be, what's going on with the CAPS meetings and the police department? I understand that once again we were without a commander over there.
I'm not exactly sure where they're at with that. They had an interim commander. I'm not sure that he's actually been named as the permanent commander. I've heard rumors that he's probably going to be. I'm not sure when they're going to pull the trigger on that, or if Jody Weiss will come up with some other plan. One thing that's been a little bit tough with the Chicago police management of this district is that turnover of commanders. We've had quite a few, and there's no notice whatsoever to the community. And interestingly, the CAPS folks haven't really objected to that either. Our beat facilitators, it's really kind of their job to advocate for the community, and I'll be interested to see if at some point very soon they stand up and say, listen, there's a couple things that concern the community. What I've heard as a journalist is the turnover of commanders and the situation with the parking tickets. We seem to have a real commitment from the city to assign police officers to writing these tickets, and that's not a popular thing, and it's really the CAPS beat facilitators' job to say that this is the view of the community, that this isn't what we want to see our officers doing, that we'd like to see them doing things that perhaps interacting with kids more, or watching out for burglaries more, whatever the community's voice is on that. That's where the community advocates, which are the beat facilitators, should be presenting that as a goal. And I haven't seen much of that yet.
Jim, when is your next Urban Coaster coming out?
It comes out Monday.
This Monday?
This Monday.
And can you give people a little preview of what's going to be in it?
Well, like I say, the Olympic editorial, the opening of the Willie White Center up there on Howard Street. We're also doing an event at No Exit. We're co-sponsoring with a charter school called Earn Academy, an event to present a movie. It's called The Principal Story, and it's a really excellent documentary about what it takes to be a principal in Chicago public schools, or excuse me, in a public school. It's a feature of one principal in Chicago, one in Springfield, Illinois, and it's a really excellent depiction of some of the challenges and how to kind of succeed in a really tough environment there. We're going to follow it up with a great discussion panel. We've got the directors coming. We've got Senator Heather Staines, who does a lot of the education work at the state legislature, is going to be on the panel as well. So we're really looking forward to kind of, hopefully having this sort of rolling set of discussions about how best to do things locally that have been really challenging, throughout the city. And, because Rogers Park's a leader, and, we want to figure out how best to lead.
That's it? That's all that's in the paper? What else you got?
What else is in the paper? I didn't do the layout, so actually I don't necessarily know from issue to issue. We have a really great set of columnists, and
yeah, you got Terry Feingold. He does cooking columns. What's he cooking up this time?
I have no idea. I don't cook, so I don't necessarily.
Well, he did do. I remember
that.
he did an oyster report last year, and. Lo and behold, just so everyone knows, that oysters will again be happening in the Buffalo Bar a week from Friday. And
good, they're back.
Yeah, they'll come back.
The oysters are back.
Oysters will be back. And we're actually also working on a rickshaw driver, a pedicab they call them, picking people up and dropping them off for the oyster events. So give us the date on the No Exit film that you're going to have, the principal story.
It's November 3rd. And, it's a film by the Wallace Foundation, or it was funded by the Wallace Foundation. It's really, I think, an opportunity to, talk about how best to think about educating kids. I mean, it's one thing to say, this or that program is going to fix things, and really, there is no one single step that we're going to take. I mean, the first step is a well-educated population that understands the challenges and the goals, and then we go from there. So this is just one step in that process.